For those of you that don't know me, I'm Burry. For those of you that do, you are welcome.
Where are you from originally? I'm familiar with some of your songs, and well, anyone that could see the video, you stand out in a crowd.
Yeah.
You've got bright yellow on, and last year you had the mask
with my name on it. Yeah.
So I always see you. I think I mentioned to you that I follow you on TikTok through the podcast as well,
Yeah.
so I'm familiar with you there. But I don't know a lot of history beyond last year.
Right.
So where are you from originally?
I was actually born in Edmonton.
Okay.
And then we moved to Wolfville when I was like very little. So I would say I am raised and grew up in Wolfville and then moved to Halifax for university. So
Okay.
very much just a Nova Scotia kid at heart.
And you're Halifax based now then?
Halifax based now, yep.
Okay. And so what age would you have been getting into music?
That's like hit or miss with that question because I like was forced into music class in junior high and stuff. So then I was like, oh, this sucks. I'll play the clarinet, I guess. And then I played the clarinet all through high school. I did the musicals and stuff, but I definitely was never something that I was like, this is a career. My parents were like, you must do a science or a business to be successful.
Sure.
Right. So I went to university for that and played varsity rugby. I thought I was going to go to the Olympics probably before I ever thought I was going to be...
You're a rugby player.
Yeah, before I ever thought I was going to be a musician. And then after university, I was backpacking Europe and met up with a band from Ireland and stayed with them for a couple weeks and went on tour with them. Just hung out on their tour, honestly.
That's
was
cool.
a roadie for a while, and I just loved that lifestyle. So I got into it. I'd been writing songs like a bit before, but never anything finished. And then after that tour, I was like, I'm going to try my hand at this.
That's kind of different story than a lot of people, because I'm used to people saying like, oh, like my parents always had music around, and I picked up a guitar at the age of 5, and then like when I was 12, I dug it out. But you didn't have that interest growing up.
I didn't, and I am self-taught on the guitar. That's why people make fun of me for not make fun of me, but people roast me for not using a pick. I don't know how to use a guitar pick.
Yeah.
I don't know scales. I literally only know my songs and then what is self-taught for like covers, but my only guitar knowledge is what I've taught myself via Ultimate Guitar and YouTube.
Yeah, that is like even like this podcast stuff. There's some things that people have mentioned that I do different than maybe a typical journalist. I'm like, oh, I just don't know what a typical journalist does.
Yeah, like I just haven't been in the industry,
Yeah.
so I didn't know you're supposed to use a guitar pick. I guess my fingernail works.
There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah, so unconventional way of being a musician, but
yeah. So it was really. That's the other thing too, is a lot of bands that they dream of success and then they get a tour and they go out and they're like, oh no, I did not. That's not the life for me.
That's not what I was expecting.
But you're kind of the opposite of that.
I just like traveled with my friends on tour and I was like, this is cool. They get like cake in their green room. I want this.
So you wrote songs to get cake and be able to travel.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense that you have candy
out,
at the stage. And
yeah. I actually wrote my first song on that tour with them because
cool.
They're from Ireland and they were doing an Ireland tour. They're called Wyvern Lingo.
Okay.
They do some stuff with like Hosier as well, but they were touring Ireland and I was with them, and there was one show where they were performing Halloween night on BBC live and I was there with them on set and they were doing sound check and I was like, had probably an hour before we were all going to go get dinner, so I just bumped around. I sat in a pub and I wrote my first single, For a Sad Soul.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what is your plan this weekend? What brought you out to another year for Music Nova Scotia, besides the typical networking? Like
networking, yeah. I don't know. There's something in me that's like, I might not go this year. Like, Sydney's far away. I don't know. But then it's like, there's almost that FOMO. Like, I don't want to miss out on seeing everyone and like hanging out, going to see other people's showcases. Obviously, the networking.
Mm-hmm. That's my problem. The conversation we had last night. That's my fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Verbalizing itself out to people that I'm talking to. I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do.
I know, running into people that played yesterday that I didn't get to see, and I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Yes, I never even considered that yet. Everyone that I think I interacted with. Now you got me nervous now. I'm going to have anxiety all day. That's good. I'll go over to there's an anxiety workshop.
The anxiety, hangout.
In Howard.
Yeah.
I'm heading there after
Go
this.
there.
I'll be all right.
I know. I should go. We'll go together.
Yeah, it's perfect. So are you performing again, or
No,
you
that
did
was
the
just-
showcase last night?
Showcasing last night, and then I have some meetings today and tomorrow, but mostly just going around and seeing my friends play some music.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
at least, like we were discussing a little bit there about how hectic it is to try to keep up with everything, but at least you front loaded your weekend and you got the
Yeah.
worst behind you.
I got
so-
my set over with night one, so I'm free as a bird to
Awesome.
hang. Just handing out stickers and candy all weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the fun way to do it. I'm going to have to do a little bit more. Yesterday was great for networking because everyone was just coming in, and
Yeah.
this is the main hotel. But I think I might have to try to squeeze some extra time in at the art center because the artist lounge is
Right.
over there too.
Yeah.
So, did you go over for a massage yet? Or is that just
No,
today?
I haven't. I know we also got those meal vouchers for the
Yes.
artists
Yeah.
for support lounge or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should check that out too.
I think there's massages, headshots, and food. So those are all pretty good
That's
reasons to
pretty
travel
cool.
over.
I don't think
suppose.
I'm picture ready
Yeah,
or ever will be.
you get a whole theme. It looks like you were ready for a publicity
Even my
shot today.
shoes match.
Now I feel bad because I'm using.
You have the yellow mic. But blue and yellow are complementary colors, so it's
Yes, that's a funny thing is that, like with our logo having the green and yellow, I go for that color motif a lot when I'm doing social media things
Yeah.
and everything. But blue has been creeping in a lot because it
Yeah.
just organically fits. Like,
And also yellow, like obviously yellow is like a part of the brand because of the
Yeah.
album, but I just kind of stick with it because I did some research and yellow is the first color that catches people's eyes.
well, then maybe that's why I'm saying you always stick out.
Right? Because I have yellow. Even on my mask last year, you
Yeah.
keep bringing it up. It
Yeah.
was yellow.
And you get the blonde hair.
Yep.
And, yeah.
Yellow catches people's eyes first. So you're even with your marketing.
Yeah.
You got some yellow in there. You're golden.
Yeah, that's the only reason we have a modicum of success is that little bit of yellow in
Yeah.
the middle. So if we had made the whole thing yellow, we would
That's
have
why
just
I
taken
have
it
any
off.
streams. The album's called Yellow Paint, so people should listen to it.
And so now I'm talking to you because I know who you are and I know a few of your singles already. But maybe for people that don't know who Burry is, you can explain a little bit about that album.
Those people exist.
I don't think they do in the
You-
building.
You don't know me.
Everyone in the
Okay,
building
I'm
does, but there might be a
joking.
couple people on the internet that don't.
For people that don't know me, the album is titled Yellow Paint. It's an EP. And the lead track on it, Yellow Paint, I wrote kind of... It's about Vincent van Gogh and kind of how he worked really hard his whole life for this career in the arts, and people just ridiculed him, didn't take him seriously. He suffered with mental illness. And then after he died, people were like, hey, this guy's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And he never got to kind of see how successful he is. But he's dead, so that's
Yeah.
really sad. So that's where that comes from. And then the rest of the album is kind of about my heartbreaks coming out as lesbian and non-binary. So a bunch of heartbreaks.
And despite the subject matter, your songs are quite
Upbeat and fun.
poppy.
Yeah, if you listen to them and don't listen to the lyrics, you're like, wow, catchy tune. But if you listen to the lyrics, they're all kind of devastating.
Yeah, because they're songs that if you're the story about you having the candy to get people to come up. I'm teasing a little bit about it. It was an awesome idea.
It was fun, yeah.
But nobody sat back down.
No.
It accomplished the goal not because of the candy. Everybody could have gone up and sat back down,
I
but
think,
they stayed up.
Like we were talking about, it was more like an incentive for people that want to stand at a show and they don't want to be that first person to stand. So giving them come on up. Don't worry, there's food, stay a while.
And it was quick.
Yeah.
The only other time I see it is if there's a lull before a real heavy or fast band that people know, and then that first opening lick comes and everyone rushes to the stage.
Runs out because they
But
want to be up
you
there.
had the same thing, but all you were saying
It's
was
just, I have Halloween candy if
come
you
on up.
want it.
Yeah.
Help yourself.
obviously you had a lot of fans there because people wouldn't get up just for a
Just-
little mini chocolate bar.
And if they did, they would have sat back down, I think.
Yes, they would have taken it back and said, yeah, exactly. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have a follow-up coming out then?
I do, yes. Actually, I have a single coming out end of November, which is the last song we played at our set, so you might not have caught it.
Yeah,
but
I didn't miss that one.
It's about my first date with my fiance. So that will be coming out, and then we'll have another single in the new year, and then those will both be a part of an EP also in the new year. Yeah.
Awesome. So you're a little bit ahead of the curve that I've been telling. I said it the last couple of interviews. Is I saw a pattern where everyone's starting to follow it. There's a couple people have shifted it, and they're touring a little bit more, and then later in the year they're going to record some new stuff. There's people recording stuff now to release in the spring and tour in the summer, which is most people. But you're just a little bit ahead of the curve. Where you already kind of have stuff on the go, and you have to plan. So you're probably going to be releasing your stuff like 2 or 3 months before like 90% of this building is releasing other stuff.
I think because a lot of people release stuff, like I feel like most people are like spring and summer because then this will be a summer bop. And just then it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. Not that that's like a bad time to release music, but there's not a lot of music coming out in the winter. So
yeah, I know, and with the podcast, it probably is apparent to some people that in the colder months when you're home, I'm digesting it a lot more.
Yeah.
In the summer, it comes down to like, oh, what are the ones I already know?
Yeah.
Or who I'm going to go see soon. And it's a quicker turnover through the summer.
Yeah.
And in the winter, you like really kind of dig into something and sit down and listen to it. So I'm glad to hear that there's some new material coming out to kind of spread that out.
I do like releasing. I've done a couple like singles in the summer, and I've just even found personally those aren't received as popularly. So I'm gonna try my hand in some winter releases. Even the EP, like Yellow Paint, came out in January when I released it.
Okay.
I did a January release, and those are my like top sort of streamed and received songs. So we'll do a little experiment. We'll see if it's the season or just if the songs were better.
Oh yeah, exactly. And so the bands that you play with too. Last night, that's not your regular lineup.
That is.
It is.
Has been my lineup for exactly a year.
Okay.
To this weekend, actually.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And are they all in other projects or?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So the boys, Owen and Zach, both play they're in Kids Losing Sleep. They are Kids Losing Sleep, and then Owen's playing with Vormir this weekend, and then Cass plays for everyone and anyone.
Actually, Owen came up with the Electric Spoonful.
Oh, did he?
Last night.
I think he actually does that.
Yeah,
often.
It was like
he did that at the Marquee show. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, he did there too. Yeah.
That's so funny. He was in those pink camo pants I got him.
Yeah, he still had those on when he was up.
A king.
He looked different from the top up. He might have had a hoodie and a hat on or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had the same pants on. I saw
funny.
that. So
no, yeah, and then Cass nominated for Musician of the Year.
Yes.
She's my bass player. She plays with Rhea May. She's playing with Nicole Ariana tonight. She plays with everyone.
Yeah, when I introduced
musician.
myself last night, I explained like I keep seeing her.
Yeah.
I keep seeing different people I know online, and then when they pull the camera back, I'm like, "That's Cass Man."
That's you.
I'm like, I should probably introduce myself sometime because I know her instantly now on all of these different places. It's pretty fun. So I was surprised. I didn't know that Owen was playing. Has that been a full year?
Oh, he's been over a year. I've had Owen since COVID started, I think. Yeah.
He's going to be a busy boy.
Honestly, he's talented. That's what you get for being talented. Can't relate.
Yeah.
No, he's been with me for a while now. He even like writes with me, so like he does all the lead guitar obviously for my stuff, and he writes all those lead guitar lines, and then he sings vocals. Couldn't do it without him.
Wow.
Even when we do duo shows, it's me and Owen.
So are you guys, I'm curious now because I know that you're both really good at doing your publicity, especially at Music Week, because your posters stick out.
Yeah.
Those guys having the bars for their logo and where you could make it vague and still know it. and then this year they have all the different themes.
All the like different genres.
Yeah.
That killed me. That was
So were you aware that they were doing that?
I was aware as they were like doing the photo shoots for those pictures. They told me that was the plan, and then they helped me with. I had the idea for the Bob's Burger poster for us, and I had my friend who's a graphic designer do that, and then we as a band like kind of picked out what the quotes were gonna be. Those like mock quotes.
Yep.
So that was like kind of band.
And
decisions.
last year you had the like Tinder profile.
That was the Tinder profile,
which was awesome. And for people that I shared photos with or that songs, that's one that like consistently people look like 100 posters.
Yeah.
And like, I like that
The Tinder
Tinder one there.
And then my first year music week ever was the incoming call.
Yes.
So it was like the hang up or like accept
That's cool.
the call with my face, and it said Burry incoming call.
And what's the Bob's Burgers ones? I've seen those around, which is they're awesome.
They're fun. Yeah.
What was the inspiration for you to go that way? Was it random or?
It was like almost kind of random because my friend is a graphic designer, and when I started my drag, I do drag as drag king. I don't perform yet because it's very new, but I have an Instagram page, and it's Quite Frank is my drag name. And when I started that drag page, they kind of did a design of my drag character in the style of Bob's Burgers, and that's my like profile picture for my Instagram for Quite Frank is him in drag. And I was like, this is clever as hell, like would you mind doing a drawing of me like for posters? And she was game.
Awesome. They those also, like I said, you stand out in the room. It might be the yellow, but I don't know if it's because I know Bob's Burgers or...
I was worried some people wouldn't because not everyone watches adult animation. But the people that get it. The people that don't are like, that's a fun cartoon picture.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it's not... It doesn't require explanation if you don't know what it is. It's not going to confuse people.
Exactly.
Like, this is Burry and
that's
there's a picture.
Burry. And also wearing that exact outfit last night. So people who don't know me or don't know Bob's Burgers are like, that's the person in the pink shoes. Like, that's really clever. Yeah.
So I super appreciate that you're an independent artist that's putting that much thought.
Yeah.
Well, especially somebody that's interviewing people. I like when there's a reason behind something instead of it being a random coincidence or something.
Yeah.
So most of the stuff on the podcast is a random coincidence. Sometimes it looks like I'm strategizing stuff. Like
I think, that happens with me a lot too.
Yeah.
People are like, you're smart. And I'm like, I did it because I was confused.
Yeah.
But here we are.
It's just it's a sign of superior intellect that we're able to accomplish so many things and not really be aware of what our plan was.
I don't even know what I'm doing. I know, like, people will be like, oh, when you, like, your lyric says this, like, that's so deep. And I'm like, yeah, it is. Like, cool.
Yeah. Well, now that I think about it.
Actually, now that you mention it,
that's
was
awesome.
Why I wrote that.
And so the new material going to be the same as the old as far as
similar
kind of
vibe. I think there's
topics?
actually lighter topics. So the theme of this album is actually love.
Okay.
Which is fun, and love in all forms. So loving yourself, loving other people, and then loving the idea of death. That's the dark one. But it's still love in all terms. It's more like loving a ghost and wanting to be in love with a ghost.
That's cool.
Yeah, love is the big theme this year.
Oh, I'd be really excited to hear those.
And it's all similar, like, we're keeping it within the genre. I think there'll be one that really stands out as, like, not sort of won't sound like my typical stuff.
Because Owen's got like a scream vocal in behind.
Yeah, we're going full screamo.
Yeah, just for one song.
It's featuring Electric Spoonful for sure.
Yeah. The whole bunch of them.
Botfly too. Yeah.
Yep. You were there last night for some of that then. So
yeah, I caught the end of Botfly and Electric Spoonful.
Were you there? We got a thing on our Instagram here. There's a reel or something. Did you see the people doing the rowboat?
When we showed up, there was a mosh pit. People were bumping around. I didn't see the rowing. Yeah,
so there's clips of both on there. Yeah. So anyone that's watching this doesn't know what I'm talking about. It's just, I've never seen that before. I watched it happen in front of me.
Did they do it, or was the band like, now sit down and pretend you're in a rowboat?
One person did it, then their friend did it, and then it was the weirdest thing. You would have thought that it was like choreographed for a music video or something. One person sat down, someone sat beside them, and then one person sat on either side of those two people, so now there was 4.
And it's just
And
filled
it
in.
just, the next thing I know, there was like 10 people
I
beside
love
me
when
doing
stuff
the
like
same.
that happens. That's proof we live in a simulation.
Yes.
Like, there's no way.
I think that's just an indication that we have a lot of like-minded people all huddled together for the same purpose of celebrating all these musicians.
Exactly,
And that was the last show of the night out of all the venues, because the other ones were shut down and this being the main hotel. So that means, as we had talked about before we started recording here too, you and I both have people that we want to see at like
1:45.
1:45 set.
I'm taking a nap this evening before the music starts because there's no way I'm going to survive tonight at 1:45 and tomorrow night at 1:45. So without a little snooze.
Yeah, I think that I don't have it scheduled, but I might have to schedule one into my day somewhere.
Pencil it in.
Yeah.
No shame in writing down your nap time.
I'll lock the door and crawl under this massive desk.
Oh my God, yeah. Use that poster as a blanket. You're good.
Yeah, well, all set. That's how lazy I am, is that I could go 2 floors up and lay in a bed.
Oh my God.
But
you're
I'm
staying.
considering
I'm in
staying in
another
the room.
hotel. I got to walk 2 whole minutes.
I can actually do that here, and I don't want to go up the elevator. It's not even the stairs. I'm that tired this morning.
I can relate. Yeah, we got to our continental breakfast, and the coffee was empty.
Oh,
and I was devastated. I beelined it for the coffee pot, and it was empty.
Are you all good now? Because
I did have a coffee. They did refill it, but
we
when I
just
first
got
got there,
some coffee outside the room here just before you came. So
rolled out of bed, went straight for the coffee machine, and it was empty. So it was pretty devastating.
Yeah, that would be.
But I did get a cup eventually. So
awesome. So you're all looked after and good for the day. I think we should probably wrap her up here, because I think we both said that we're heading off site, and that session starts in about half an hour.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to stop this one, and if you're around later the weekend, feel free to stop by.
Yeah.
In the future, when you're releasing the new material, let the podcast know.
Of course. Yeah, I'll send it your way.
And say hello to your bandmates if you're with them later today.
I will.
I'm sure I'll be running into the bunch of you, because
they're around.
And we already know that we're going to some of the same shows at least.
Yes, exactly.
So. Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming.
Thank you.
And before I actually completely sign off, if anyone's listening that's like, oh, I really like this Burry person, where should they go find you online?
On social medias, I am at Burry Official. So that's TikTok, Instagram, the works. I don't think I have Twitter. And then just Burry, Burry, on all streaming services.
Awesome. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Talk again soon.